Want to know how I record these epic POVs? Well, you've come to the right place. In this video, I'll be breaking down the methods I use, the accessories I would recommend, and dive a little bit into the editing process that goes into making these videos. So without further ado, let's get into it. First, I'd like to start off with a banger and one of my personal favorites to record, Tron Lightcycle Run at night. The camera that I use for this POV and almost all my other POVs is the Insta360 X3. The recording method that I use for Tron Lightcycle Run is pretty standard and is basically the only way that you can record is with a chest mount. How I normally record these types of rides in basically every single POV is by putting it in the 360 mode, 5.7K resolution with its max frame rate of 30 FPS. Now if you take a look at the lighting settings, I just have it on auto, and by doing this, you can get this kind of epic POV.
Prepare for Team Blue Lightcycle Run upload sequence. Remember, hold on, keep your head up, and face forward. Initiate in 3, 2, 1.
Now that we have finished Tron Lightcycle Run, I'm going to be moving on to one of my personal favorites, which brings us over to Animal Kingdom for Expedition Everest: Legend of the Forbidden Mountain. How I record this POV is by attaching my Insta360 to the vlogger stick first. Next, I do the same thing by keeping it in 5K 30 FPS and leaving the lighting settings as they are. Just press the record button and this is the POV you get. This isn't the only way that you can record Expedition Everest, but I like the 360 because it gives a more wide angle. But with 4K, you still get a wide angle, but it just doesn't really show as much as I like it to. You can put it in 4K, but it costs one more storage and it just doesn't show you everything that I personally like to see. Now that we're done with Expedition Everest, we're going to be moving on to another one of my favorites, the Tower of Terror. First, you're going to want to put it, once again, on the vlogger stick. Just like the other two, the recording process is basically the same by keeping it in 360, 5K, 30 FPS, and the lighting the same. But you can also put it in 4K, 60 FPS. It doesn't really matter with this ride that big. I mean, it's more of a personal preference. So personally, I like the 360, but you might like the 4K better. It just is kind of whatever works for you. For a quick little example, here are the two different POVs side by side. Our next and final ride brings us over to Pirates of the Caribbean and Magic Kingdom. This ride brings to the table a little bit of a unique situation. In this situation, you can record it 360, 4K with no 360, or just on your phone. It kind of depends on the circumstance. What I personally like to do is, if I haven't recorded it, I'll record it in 360, and if I have, I'll just go to using my phone. Why I use 360 is because if I miss something, I can always reframe it back to where the thing I missed is in the app later on after I've recorded it, whereas I cannot do that with the 4K non-360. Now, I'm not going to give a full POV to the ride because it's more of a dark ride, so I can't really add the highlight of the ride to the video, but if you want to see the full ride, the link is in the description and it's also on my channel, so go check that out if you'd like to see it. That pretty much wraps up the recording process that I use and the methods I use, so now let's move on to the editing process. Okay, so I'm here in CapCut, which is the editing software that I use for every single one of my videos. I use the desktop version. So basically what we do here is we take our already framed video that we have of Mount Everest, which I did through the app, which is very, very easy to use if you have an Insta360. I can make a separate video on that. It's pretty simplistic. Just put on direction lock and you can reframe it if you want it to see something else. Basically just put it in like this. You can add an intro if you want. I don't normally. And then I just put my outro at the end of this, which I'm not going to do right now because it's just a demonstration. I click export, put it in 4K 60, and then I normally export that. And that is how I make those videos for POVs. They're very, very simplistic to make, take not that long, and very easy to make if you know what you're doing. I'm glad I could help you. If I did help you, make sure to subscribe, like the video, comment, share this video because it can also help others. I'm glad I could be a help. That's pretty much all I got for you guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.